Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. Today is Monday, August the 12th of 2019, and this is the Quitters Revolution podcast where quitting is winning. My name is Jason B. Montanez. I am the self-proclaimed, undisputed heavyweight champion of quitting, and boy, when I tell you, do we have a show today in store for you. Just to let you know, if this is the first time that you are tuning in to the Quitters Revolution podcast, this is Quitters Revolution, where it will be televised. As a matter of fact, it's televised right now on Facebook Live. And this is a self-love movement. This is a movement where we are standing up against the status quo. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're sick and tired of allowing the negative thoughts, feelings, behaviors, people in our lives, and we are just standing up and say, you know what? We are quitting those negative thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and people. But we are differentiating quitting and giving up, right? Quitting is the process and giving up is the progress. We cannot stop the progress in getting better and our self-improvement movement every single day. I'm very excited to have Chimere Norris here with us today. She's going to tell you a little bit more about herself, and I'm very excited for everybody to hear her story of entrepreneurship. She is an author. She is an entrepreneur. She is an awesome, when I say awesome, is it graphic designer? Web designer. She's going to tell you more about herself, and she will have the opportunity to win the belt from me, the Quitters Revolution Heavyweight Championship belt, even though she's more like a flyweight, but that's okay. She will be able to win the championship belt, but I can tell you this, Chimere, you have to be 100% honest with the people out there. The only way you get this belt is honesty, is real, is raw, uncut, uncensored. We're not mandated by the FCC, so we can say whatever we want to say. All right, but it's very important for us to be absolutely honest and 100 with these people, because a lot of people out there are struggling. A lot of people out there need to hear this and need to hear everyday stories of people like us that are overcoming some things in order to be successful. So that being said, Chimere, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Are you going to win the belt today?
I'm going to try.
No, you going to do it. You going to do it. There's no try. Like my man Yoda said, you either do or you don't. There's no try. All right? So just before we introduce Chimere and she introduces herself, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I've written a book about it. I'm very passionate about it. It's called I've Got 99 Things to Quit and Giving Up Is One. It is a practical guide on what to quit and how to live your very best life. So that being said, Chimere, tell the people a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, a little bit of your background, and we'll take it from there.
Chimere, like Jason said, Chimere Norris. I am from New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey native, but I've been living here in the Houston area.
Where in New Jersey?
I'm from Newark, actually.
What? Brick City?
Yes.
What? Come on! I didn't know you were from the East Coast.
I'm a Jersey girl.
What?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Brick City is in the building.
We have somebody in common. One of my mentors, Alfred Edmond, he actually had comments and it was like, "Tell Jason to be easy on you."
What? Yeah, Alfred, Black Enterprise.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Alfred Edmond. He is the actually publisher, right? Editor. Yeah, he's the editor of Black Enterprise. So big shout out to Black Enterprise. So good. Brick City. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm from Jersey. I was born and raised in Jersey. Lived there till I was about 16. Then I lived in San Antonio for about a year and a half. I finished my senior year of high school in San Antonio.
Okay.
And after San Antonio, really wasn't a fan of Texas at that point. I just wanted to get out of Dodge. So I moved to Atlanta, and I went to college in Atlanta. Stayed in Atlanta for about 9 years. Mm-hmm. And I've been here in Houston since 2012.
Awesome. So you've been here since 2012, mm-hmm. and I guess we have similar stories because we've lived in different places. So I was New York, then I went to North Carolina, then I went to New Mexico, and then I ended up in Houston. So how was it like transitioning from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, all right, to San Antonio, then San Antonio to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Houston? Like, talk to me about that transition. How was that for you?
Well, when I first left Jersey when I was 16, it was my senior year of high school. It was a complete culture shock. So it really wasn't the best experience, because in New Jersey, where I'm from, I grew up in a predominantly African-American community, African-American Hispanic community, and that was pretty much what I was kind of used to being in that environment, seeing a lot of people that look like me. Although I went to a private school in Montclair, which is a predominantly probably like Caucasian area, but there still was a lot of variety and diversity. And when I moved to San Antonio at 16, it was like a huge Hispanic population.
Right.
Very little African Americans, and about half of, and the other half was probably like Caucasian people. So that was a culture shock for me. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And the hierarchy changed in terms of like, I'm not going to say importance, but I guess that's the best way to kind of classify it.
Okay.
So when I went to San Antonio, it was like you saw a lot of Hispanics in predominantly leadership roles and in charge and kind of running things. And then underneath that, you may have saw like, some Caucasians that was kind of calling the shots. And then the African Americans were really like on the bottom of the totem pole. Mm-hmm. And so I just wasn't used to that dynamic, just coming from where I was from. So it was a huge culture shock, and it took a huge adjustment. It's like I come from New Jersey with this big personality, aggressive, just ready to hit the ground running. And there, it was just kind of like they almost try to force you to take a back seat. Got you.
So, wow. So let's jump right into it, Chimere, if you don't mind. So what are some of the challenges that you faced in, I'm not going to say in each city, but traveling so much and then finally finding a home here in Houston. And what are some of the things that you had to really focus? I want you to go back in time. What are some of the things that you had to quit in order to really adjust to that particular environment? Because it truly was like a foreign environment to you.
Yeah, San Antonio was definitely a foreign environment. Like I said, I stayed there for a very short period of time. I was ready to go, so I went to Atlanta. In Atlanta, that's where I really, it's like they said, that's the Black Mecca. There's a lot of business owners, there's a lot of entrepreneurship, there was a lot of music, entertainment, and arts, and so I fit right in that environment, and I thrived, and that's why I actually got my start in entrepreneurship in the Atlanta area. And I had a lot of support from a lot of people. I went there and went to college, a school called AIU. I studied graphic design and web design. That's how I learned, my craft. And then right out of college, I didn't finish a 4-year degree, but I went to school for 3 years and finished with an associate's. But right after college, I started a magazine, like immediately after.
Okay.
And it was a magazine called Ladies First Magazine, and it was
Ladies First. Ooh.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
In my head, role models.
Yeah,
so that
Brick City, Queen Latifah.
Right, absolutely. Irvington, to be exact.
She's in Irvington?
Brick City.
Okay.
Irvington is kind of like the same area.
Yeah. Okay.
In the area where I grew up, so.
Yeah.
Ladies First Magazine. It was a business magazine for women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And it did really well, just kind of like starting out the gate. And I was a solopreneur, and it was well received, and we got a lot of subscribers. We got a lot of exposure, a lot of different opportunities came from doing that. It's just I didn't know a lot about business, like the real parts of business. Like I knew the startup phase, I knew the creative phase, but I didn't know the numbers part, the sales part, the infrastructure. That was where I was lacking.
Okay, so did you have like a corporate job, or were you working for somebody prior to going to be a full-fledged entrepreneur?
I had a few jobs. I worked a lot of temp kind of positions. I worked for an insurance company, doing like customer service. I had a few, and I worked while I was in college, I actually worked in a nail salon, or a hair salon, spa in Buckhead, Atlanta. Okay. Called Jackie Colors. Is actually still there. And I was a nail tech there. So I worked there, and really being in that environment is really what the owner of it, his name is Jackie D. He's been an entrepreneur and a hairstylist pillar in that market for years, and I learned so much being underneath him. And so that's where I really learned to like really get my hustle and my grind from, and my ethic of working and really applying pressure. And so I learned a lot being underneath him. So even though I was there to do nails, every Monday we had like meetings, and we would talk about business and entrepreneurship and those kind of things. So I think that was kind of ingrained in me. So when I did leave college, I already kind of had some wind beneath my wings, and knowing some of the language and stuff that was necessary for business.
Got you. So you kind of learned entrepreneurship from Jackie. Did I get his name correctly? Yeah. So you learned some entrepreneurship from Jackie, and then was graphic design, was that kind of like your love and your passion?
So I back up a little bit. So when I was, I guess in high school, 11th grade year, my mom was like, well, what do you want to do when you get out of school? And so I was like, I didn't want to go to college. And she said, well, you're going to do something. And so initially I thought I wanted to go to cosmetology school, because growing up in Newark, I worked at a few of the salons, the typical shampoo girl kind of stuff.
Right.
Swept up hair and those kinds of things. So I thought I wanted to be in the beauty industry. Yeah. But the school that I wanted to go to was called Vidal Sassoon. It was in LA.
Yep.
They didn't have any financial aid, and it was like $15,000 a year for tuition. So my mom was like,
what? Yep.
So I had to think, and I was like, well, what else is it I really loved? And I always loved magazines, always loved publishing, and I always, when people would ask me when I was a little girl, what do you want to be? It always was an author.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let's look at some magazines and see what are some of the positions and titles. And so I came across graphic design, and that was the only thing that I felt like I didn't know.
Got you.
I knew all the other, I knew marketing, I knew advertising, because I took some of those classes in high school. I was in entrepreneurship programs at a very early age too, so I kind of knew some of the behind the scenes pieces.
Yeah.
But I didn't know graphics, so that's how I picked my major. So that's what kind of got me to choose the school that I chose, and that got me into Atlanta, and that kind of got me going. So just to kind of pair that with the entrepreneurship was already, I think, probably like instilled in me when I was about 7. That's when I first joined an entrepreneurship program as a youth with the Boys and Girls Club back in Newark. But then Jackie is where I actually saw the practical application of it.
Got you. Yeah. So, Designs by Chimere.
Yes.
Okay, that was born in Houston or Atlanta?
Designs by Chimere actually started in Atlanta.
Okay.
And it started out as just like a freelance opportunity. I was doing, everybody knew I do graphics, so I was like, hey, can you do a business card? Hey, can you do a flyer? Now, I only learned graphics just so I could be able to do my magazine layout.
Got
that
you.
was the purpose of me joining,
Uh-huh.
or learning it. So I thought. And then the momentum kind of built, and people would ask me to do, graphics and logos and business cards, and so that's kind of where Designs by Chimere came. And it was so effortless, like where the name is like, come on, like really you couldn't come up with something better.
Uh-huh.
But that's essentially what happened. I think one day somebody was like, hey, what is your business name? And I was just like, Designs by Chimere. It was the first thing that came to my mind. And I just kind of went with it, and I started calling myself that since then. And so that was 2003 is when I started actually doing freelance graphics. And so just over the years, I've just kind of like honed in on my skills, got better, took more classes and courses, and just developed. And now, Design by Chimere is one of the fastest growing creative agencies in Houston.
I love it. So you telling me 2003 is that the date? I mean, Is that the year we're gonna say? So 16 years, right? Mm-hmm. So for everybody out there that thinks like success happens overnight, Chimere is a living example that she put 16. Well, to date, we're talking about 16 years into her craft. I was reading something, and it said, and it says something about being a master, and you have to. Some people say you have to put 10,000 hours.
Yeah, to become an expert.
To become an expert, to become a master, and really master something. Especially nowadays, I think a lot of people out there need to hear this, especially with social media and the ability to see other people or claiming to do well, and everybody's putting up their highlight reels and everything like that. We oftentimes like, how come I'm not successful yet? Well, we have to put our time in, right? There's a component of faith and trust, and I'm pretty sure that it wasn't easy, right?
Oh no,
absolutely not. Right. Let's keep it real with the viewers. What were some of the challenges that you faced? Both personally, professionally, in starting up one of the fastest growing design firms?
So 2016 is when I started doing Designs by Chimere full time.
Okay.
Without any type of support, from a corporate position.
Uh-huh.
All the years prior was just kind of like a hobby. It was like a side gig.
Uh-huh.
And so during that time, it really was just about me meeting the demands of the people that requested for me. I didn't really take it as a business, because I was focused on the whole magazine and the publishing. Like I was just fixated, like that was what my purpose was, right?
Right.
So, but in 2016, I really had the opportunity to really see how popular and how in demand that I had become while I was actually still having a job. And I said, you know what, I can replace my income. So essentially that's how it kind of like swapped, and I kind of pivoted.
Nice.
And so in that startup period, and I'll use that as a startup period because I feel like that's the true startup period when I actually came in full throttle with it, is branding. I struggle with trying to figure out, should I change my name? It's something that I still, think about, like, should I change my name? And so that's like one of the things where I definitely, you want to make sure that you have something solid. And I advise a lot of business owners all the time about their business names, about their intellectual real estate, about their intellectual property. And so every time I went to try to say, like, let me change my name, it's just Designs by Chimere. It's like, that's what it is. That's what I do. That's who I am, right?
Definitely.
So it just made sense to kind of keep it and go with it. So I would say that definitely was one of the challenges. And then also pricing.
Ooh,
pricing
that's a good one. That's a good one.
It still is a challenge, because when I just heard you put those numbers together, you're like, you've been doing this for 16 years. I'm like, I need to up the price.
Yeah, no doubt.
I need to up the prices. Because you're bringing all of that experience to the table. Like,
sorry for y'all.
Right? Like, I'm like,
the prices just went up.
The price just went up. Okay?
Right? Because,
again, it just went up, but it's going up again.
Well, people, you're paying for those 16 years and that's what people have to understand, is you're paying for 16 years of somebody honing their skill and giving you direction. And there's a difference. I really believe there's a difference between cost and price, right? So, the price is X, but let's really look at the cost in the long run, right? So if I say, okay, Designs by Chimere is too expensive, I go a cheaper route, and they jack up your website, or they give you designs that are not up to par, up to your standard, and now your brand is jacked up. Now it's going to cost you a lot more to come back to Chimere when you could have just went to Chimere. Now you have to do some brand reconciliation or whatever you want to call it, when you should have just went with the higher price, the one, the expert, right? The master, you know? So that's really, really good in terms of brand and price. So what did you have to, let's talk about people. Let's talk about people for a moment. So were there some people, I guess, discouraging you from going the entrepreneurship route, to stay the safe route, to maybe stay in the corporate or job environment?
No, I don't really feel like I had a lot of that, because I surrounded myself by entrepreneurs and business owners. Most of my friends are entrepreneurs and business owners, so I always was around people that were entrepreneurs. Right?
Got you.
So I got a lot of support, and a lot of people that was saying that they know that I would do well. And because I had previously done well, like, you know, I previously had 2 other businesses that did well. Mm-hmm. They weren't as successful as I would have liked them to be, but I've owned other businesses as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like I didn't really have the support. The only initial kind of like hesitation is because at the time I was married, and I talked to my husband, my then husband, about possibly quitting. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay, that's fine. And then when I actually quit, he was like, you didn't talk to me about it. I'm like, we had a whole conversation about this. What are you talking about?
Right.
So,
but I think that's a great story, Chimere, because it's very important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals that are not going to discourage you, because it truly is, as an entrepreneur, it truly is like a village, right? You need other entrepreneurs that are going through the same thing that you're going through, the ups, the downs, the doubts, right? Sometimes business could be booming. Sometimes business could be slow, you know, that have maybe the financial acumen to give you the advice of, yo, don't go and buy those Louboutins, you know what I'm saying? You might just want to chill until you get the next big contract or something like that, you know, that we need to hear. Sound advice from other entrepreneurs. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So let's go into that. So let's talk about self-doubt, okay? So I'm assuming, because as an entrepreneur myself, I have self-doubt all the time, right? Yeah. I have negative thoughts all the time. I have negative feelings all the time. And as an entrepreneur, I really feel that you have to be in a constant state of self-reflection. I think you have to be in a constant state of self-honesty, being brutally honest with yourself. And that is the hardest, that's one of the hardest things, in my opinion, that we have to do. So talk to us about some times where that self-doubt monster creeped in a little bit. Uh-oh, we going deep here.
Self-doubt is something that I think about. I would probably say pretty regularly, because, like I said, I owned 2 previous businesses, and they weren't successful in my eyes in terms of, like, financially. Mm-hmm. They were popular. Mm-hmm. They had, I guess what you call it, popular public opinion.
Yep.
But I didn't feel like, from a financial standpoint, even though those businesses made money, they didn't make the type of money that I feel like I needed to thrive or for it to be deemed successful. Mm-hmm. So having those, I guess I call them failures. I say that's how I failed forward.
Yeah.
Having that kind of in the background, when you think about, okay, the next thing you're going to do, you kind of like think like, okay, how can you minimize those mistakes that you made in the past, and overcome some of those objections that you made in the past. And so that's where the self-doubt for me kind of creeps in, based off of my past experiences.
Right.
So I definitely try to use those past business opportunities. I try to use them and kind of propel myself forward, or to fail forward and say, okay, what lessons did I learn? Mm-hmm. And what could I do differently this time? And I think that because I knew Designs by Chimere when I hit it full time, at that point in 2016, I was a mom of two.
Uh-huh.
It had to work. Like, I had to go all in. I had to really put my best foot forward. And so I just worked. And I knew that if I worked and I connected with people, that eventually the traction would build. I knew what I was able to do, and I just said, okay, you just got to keep going. And so even though the self-doubt was there, and I sometimes I feel like self-doubt is like huge, and you get this big, like, oh my gosh, you're trying to like duck from it.
Yeah.
I couldn't fail. Failure was not an option at that point. Like,
yeah.
I just had to keep going. So I think that we are going to get self-doubt, but we have to still show up and rise to the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And when entrepreneurship is your sole source of income, you just have to keep doing it. So that means if you have to pivot, if you have to maneuver, if you have to add more services, or if you have to take away services and kind of niche down, or if you have to add another product or whatever it is, like, especially once you make this commitment that entrepreneurship is going to be my full-time thing, then you have to just persevere and push past that.
Yeah, I love it. Something that Chimere said that I now want to get into is this concept of failure, right? I think a lot of people don't move forward or take that leap because they're scared to fail. And a very valid and very important point is the fact of failing forward. I think the lessons learned. You cannot be successful, and I repeat, you cannot be successful without failure. You have to fail. Everybody fails. There are countless of stories of very successful entrepreneurs, business owners that failed at their first 15, 20 businesses, and then they struck gold, right? And that's where the giving up comes in, right? So the giving up is the progress. You can never stop progress. I'm sure that we've seen that little cartoon, and somebody's digging and digging and digging, and then you get right there, and the gold is right there. Like, take 2 more digs and you're gonna hit the goal.
Right.
But they're like, nah, there's no goal. Let me take my shovel and I'm gonna give up, right? But along the way, failure teaches us what we have to quit.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's what it teaches us. It teaches us, okay, maybe, and if you're really honest with yourself, maybe I was not in the right mindset. Maybe I wasn't having the right feelings or the right attitudes. And when you become brutally honest with yourself, that's at that point you can really unlock, in my opinion, your true destiny, because now you have that ability to that perseverance, that persistence, and you know yourself, right? Because a lot of people really don't know themselves. They're putting up a facade for other people that really don't even care about you. But as long as you love yourself and you know yourself, then you have the ability to self-reflect every single day and live in this constant self-reflection and take the ownership and responsibility and say, Jay, that was you, bro. Right. Like real talk. Like, if you would have done what you said you was going to do, maybe you would have closed that deal, right? And if you could be honest with yourself and learn, okay, I'm going to quit saying or quit committing to something that I can't do, so this is never happening again, boom, that's failing forward. Right? So next time you come across, and hopefully, because I'm a firm believer that no opportunities are lost, they just get scooped up by the other person.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the way I feel. Hopefully the opportunity will present itself again. So you are an author. Upcoming author, and I want to take some time here, Chimere, to talk about that process, because I know firsthand, with this as being my second book, I know firsthand the dedication, the stick-to-itiveness, the long nights, the process of the reiteration process of reading it over and over and over again and finding something, and they're like, yo, I know it, I get it. And in order, only the true authors know about this, you have to be like sick and tired of your book.
Yes.
It gets to a point where, like, yo, you know what, this is the last time I'm reading it, I'm just putting it out.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this, your new book. Talk to me about the process and why are you writing the book?
So the why is the most important part. So we're going to start there.
Okay.
So the name of my book is called A Way Out: How to Navigate Through Dead-End Relationships, Mindset, and Jobs to Become a Thriving Entrepreneur.
Nice.
And so entrepreneurship was my way out.
Mm-hmm.
It was my way out of corporate, and it eventually became my way out of a toxic marriage. It was my way out of debt. You know, I'm still getting out, but it's, you know, it's my way out. It's my way to financial freedom. And so I think that there are a lot of people that want to be an entrepreneur. They see entrepreneurship is at an all-time high. Everybody wants to start a business.
Right.
But having failed at some things, I know that there are certain steps that you have to take, and it's certain processes that you have to take as well. And so I just wanted to make sure that I could share some of those experiences that I had personally, and the mindset that it takes to actually go from being a entrepreneur to an actual entrepreneur. Or there may be people that are entrepreneurs and they feel like they're spinning their wheels, and I feel like this book is still a good read for them also, because sometimes you skip over steps just trying to get to the money, and this is actually going to help you get back and again tackle some of those mindset issues that can help you catapult you to the next level. Ooh. So that's my why.
Hold on, Chimere. You just dropped, and I hope everybody caught all this stuff. But Chimere, you just dropped some jewels. Back in New York, I call it jewels. Jewels. So check this out. So Chimere said dead end. Mm-hmm. A lot of people out there are dealing with dead end jobs, dead end relationships, dead end people, dead end thoughts, dead end feelings, dead end attitudes that we need to quit.
We need to quit.
We absolutely need to quit. So how does one identify, in your opinion, when it's a dead end?
When you feel stuck. Like when you get to a point where it's like, okay, this is it. There's nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere else to grow. And then there's a lack of fulfillment. I feel like, there's a lot of people out here that are searching for their purpose, and they're like, what is my life purpose? And I always try to tell people that purpose evolves. Mm-hmm. There's not one thing that they're responsible for here. I feel like every single place that you are, every single job that you have, every single business that you have, it's purpose tied to it. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to do the best that you can do while you're in that particular period until you grow and evolve to the next thing. And so we definitely have to make sure that we don't get stuck in certain areas where we feel unfulfilled. And I think that's what happens in relationships or in jobs. So many people say, I hate my job. Why do you hate your job? Mm-hmm. Okay, what do you feel like would be done differently? Because let me tell you, entrepreneurship is not easy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a schedule. And people think that it's freedom and it's you're going to be able to make your own schedule and do,
so let me ask you a question.
This is like harder than work.
So did you put in more hours working as an entrepreneur? So all y'all out there, because entrepreneurship is like the most popular thing ever, right? So we got Gary Vee, we got all these cats just toting on entrepreneurship. I get excited about this stuff, right? They toting entrepreneurship and wanting everybody to be entrepreneurs, but not everybody is an entrepreneur. It's okay if you're not an entrepreneur.
It's okay.
Leading to the next point, you said a one-trepreneur. Is that what you said? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
I need to hear more about this because that is actually the first time that I heard that term. So tell me.
I might need to coin this for.
Okay, yeah, for real. You better trademark that or something because one-trepreneur. Yeah, tell me about this one-trepreneur.
So one-trepreneur is the person that they want to be an entrepreneur. Like maybe they've studied it, or maybe they go to a lot of networking events and conferences, or they're just getting a lot of the information, but they're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. The rubber has not met the road yet. So that's what your one-trepreneur is. Or it's a person that is, maybe they've dabbled in like the MLM businesses and they're just trying to kind of get their feet wet, or they started a little hobby on the side, but they still don't really know all the actual, like, what is it actually going to take for me to make money that's going to sustain my lifestyle.
Right.
So I feel like those are the people that I would classify in the one-trepreneur. Those are the people that I definitely feel like if that is you should definitely read my book because it'll definitely help get you to that next level. But then also some of the people that are entrepreneurs and they've started 3 or 4 businesses in 1 year, and nothing has worked. You're still in that entrepreneur stage because you haven't proven yourself. You haven't shown yourself profitable. You haven't shown that you have something that's a viable business that can bring in income consistently. So people that are still in the entrepreneurial phase, maybe like that 1 or 3 years, they're still in that entrepreneur. Some of them are still in that entrepreneur category because they haven't yet got to that thing that where it's like, okay, this is working, and let me build upon it.
Yeah, I love it. I love the terminology. So let's get back into a way out, right? A way out. So we're what kind of advice? Like what's the gist? What's the substance of the book? What should readers really get out of the book when it comes to that?
Well, a lot of literally, I start you kind of like at the beginning. The mindset piece. It talks to you about being a consumer and how you can actually be a what's the word? I can't think of it. Like where you actually have people consuming your goods.
Yep.
So it kind of starts there, and it kind of has you do an assessment of everything that you're paying for, right?
Okay.
Today, just like everything that you have, from everything that you have on, and think about that cost associated with what money have you brought in today for something that you've created.
Okay.
So I literally kind of get them right from the beginning of the first chapter. It's like shock value, where you're seeing, okay, yes, I'm supporting all these other businesses. But what am I doing for myself, or who is supporting my business?
Right.
So that's kind of how I start. So that just kind of gets you right into that jolt of the mindset piece. We also talk about pricing and profitability, and the reason why I think that's so important is because in my first two businesses, the concepts were great, but I didn't create them to be profitable.
Right.
And so I have people actually go in, and there's like workbook kind of like assignments that you have to do to find out, first of all, is this business going to even be profitable? How can it be profitable? And what is it going to be required to make it profitable?
Right.
So I think that that's definitely something that is take away, because you have to do those exercises. Because I think we want to start the business, we want to name it, we want a logo, we want a website, but you put all this money into it. Is it going to be profitable?
Got you.
So my thought is, let's see if this is going to be if this is even a viable concept. And not only is it going to be profitable, but is it going to support your lifestyle? Because a lot of people, they want this lavish lifestyle, and I tell them in the book, sometimes you have to start a business that's going to get you the revenue that you need so that you can support your passion. Because your passion is not always going to be the most profitable.
Got you.
So it kind of gets you to thinking like, okay, well, if this business that you really want to start is not going to be profitable and not going to support your lifestyle, what type of business can you start that's going to give you the cash flow to then fuel your passion?
Yeah.
So it goes into that. So those are some of the takeaways that people will get. In addition to talking about relationships, leveraging your relationships, asking for mentors. Like I said, Alfred Edmond is one of my mentors, and I had to ask, for that relationship.
Good.
So it talks about mentorships. And it also talk about mastermind groups and how to maximize, how to get the information, education that you need to continue growing. I would definitely say me joining a mastermind group last year was one of the most pivotal components during my tenure in entrepreneurship that actually helped catapult my business and actually helped me triple my revenue. And so it talks about that too, how to pick the right mastermind group and how to figure out, how do you get more education and support as an entrepreneur? Because entrepreneurship can be lonely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's lonely, it's hard, you work long hours. We're not serving as a deterrent to be an entrepreneur.
It's real.
We want people to follow their dreams. We want people to follow their purpose and their passions. But I think it's very important to know exactly what you're getting into. And this is why we utilize this platform to really keep it real and keep it honest with people so they can basically, I did that so you don't have to go through that.
Right.
Like my man Jay-Z said in one of his songs. I forget what song he said it in. Right? So this is, we're basically providing wisdom. Right, so in order to help you out there to follow your passion, your dreams, exactly, some foresight
and some insight, because we've done it, and a lot of the business owners that I've worked with over the years. Again, I've been designing for 16 years. I've come across every type of business at all kinds of income levels, so I've had access to inside privileged information to know what works, what doesn't work, what challenges and stuff. And so I address those things in the book because they are important. And I feel like regardless of what level you are, if you're a $1 million business or $1,000 business, some of us have the same types of obstacles, right?
Yeah.
And we have to overcome those same types of challenges and fears and self-doubt and all those kinds of pieces. And so, that's why I think, like what you were saying, we have to make sure that our mindset is right, make sure we have the right relationships, and make sure that we're getting the proper information to help us and be in the right groups to help us grow and flourish.
Right, exactly. Another thing that you said that it's just some good stuff, and I hope, this reaches a plethora of people. You talked about lifestyle, right? Profit to support your lifestyle. I'm intrigued to know, because as an entrepreneur, you have to sacrifice, right? There's a high level of sacrifice. So from a lifestyle perspective, did you have to change your lifestyle? And what are some of the things that I guess you had to sacrifice? Because you talked about debt, you talked about dead end. What are some of the lifestyle changes that maybe are not popular lifestyle changes that or sacrifices that you had to make? I told you we was gonna get deep.
Right. But this is good. This is good information. People need to know it. Like, I think your priorities shift as an entrepreneur because you want your business to succeed, and so you are willing to make the sacrifices. And so some of those sacrifices maybe you're not being as social as you used to be, and you're not going to everybody's birthday party or everybody's special event and those kinds of things. You kind of got to trim back on some of those things.
Hold on. Chimere done changed. Chimere changed. Oh, she an entrepreneur now, so she can't come to nobody's birthday party no more. She can't come hang out with us till 3:00 in the morning.
You have to be selective with your time.
That's right.
I think about the return time is what is the return on my investment?
Mm-hmm.
And so I always think about like what else could I be doing that could be an income generating activity during this time versus that, and so those are some of the things you sacrifice. And not saying that your friends and your family is not important, but I think when you're in that building stage initially with your business, you do have to make some choices and figure out, what's going to be more important. And so definitely your social activities, you have to, and that's regular, that's going out, right?
Right.
So that's one of the things. I would probably say travel. I love to travel.
I do too.
I love to travel, and travel is a reward, right?
Yeah.
And all my life, I've always traveled, always have taken a few vacations per year. And sometimes, in entrepreneurship, you have some of that has to go until you get to that point to where the travel, how do you say it? And it's not about cost.
Right.
I'm beyond that. Like I can afford to take the trips I need to take, right? But my business still needs to be able to run while I'm on the trip. I still want to make money while I'm traveling, right?
Right.
And so I think now, just where I'm at specifically with my business now, this year, I traveled but only for business. I haven't done any personal travel because my business has grown to such a point where I'm busy and I'm booked and I'm, working on different things and I'm building my team and training and doing all these different pieces. And I really haven't had the time to where I can say, let me step away from the business and let me, go away for 5 days, 7 days, 3 days. Anyway,
right, exactly.
I haven't had the time to do that. Now, in previous years, I did find a way to travel, but my clientele wasn't as many clients coming in, so there was not as much demand on my time.
Gotcha.
But as you grow, one of my goals, as I said, I want to scale my agency. I want to add teams. So this 2019, that's been my objective. How can I grow my agency? How can I scale my team? So a lot of the effort has been put in that direction. So that just requires me to be here. So I feel like that's a sacrifice that you make for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody, I take my kids on vacation several times a year. I didn't take them on any vacations this summer.
Gotcha.
And that kind of hurt me a lot because I'm like, man, they were looking forward to going on a trip, but I just didn't have the time to do it.
Right.
So those are some of the sacrifices that you make
it's real talk.
For entrepreneurship. But my thing is, I'm sacrificing now, but I won't have to later.
There you go.
And so it's just
that's what it's all about.
Process.
That's what a big concept that I am so passionate about is this concept of delayed gratification.
Yes.
If people understood this concept and really focused on this concept, it's sacrificing today to really reap what you have sown tomorrow, right? So you can make the choice if you want to work or not, in 10 years or whatever. Have a plan, delay your gratification, invest your money into things that are going to allow your money to work for you, and that truly is the way to go. So, Chimere, let them see. Did you design that cover?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And it's like a maze.
Yes.
It's a maze with some GPS, I guess.
With like some GPS, like again, I said relationships, mindsets, and jobs. So it just has like different little dead ends where you're trying to figure out, how do I get out?
Yeah.
Or
how do you
as
navigate?
You're trying to navigate, you are going to come across these things, and then on the out part, it's like entrepreneurship. So it's like entrepreneurship is your way out. So if you are struggling with any of these things, I feel like entrepreneurship is your way out.
I love it. I love it. If you want to see some of Chimere's work, she'll let you know where you can go to actually get in contact with her and see even more of her work. But go to 99thingstoquit.com, subscribe to my newsletter. You're going to see a box and it says become a quitter, and that is going to unlock our quitters cheat sheet, which actually Chimere designed for me. So, and it's a phenomenal worksheet. It's the 9 things that you have to do to prepare yourself for a lifestyle of quitting, because this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for people that are happy with the status quo. These are not for people that are satisfied with mediocrity. This is for people that really want to strengthen themselves and take their lives to the next level. So, Chimere, let's tell the people where they can find more about you, how they can follow you, etc.
So if you are interested in finding more information about my creative agency, which is Designs by Chimere, you can visit designsbychimere.com, and that's www.designsbychimere.com. So that's Designs by Chimere. And if you want to get on the mailing list for a way out, and right now I have a free download. If you go to bit.ly/Hey Chimere, HeyChimere, you will receive a free strategy exercise that I have, because even though I have the book, A Way Out, I also have a strategy planner that's going to go with the book. So people can actually just power through and push through and take those notes and overcome those hurdles. And so that's what you'll get, a free strategy planner exercise. But that's going to add you to my mailing list. And so when we release the book for pre-sale, when the book goes on sale, when we launch our tour and everything that's going to be, all the activities surrounding the book, you'll be the first to know. So please go to bit.ly/Hey Chimere to get on my mailing list, or you can reach me at designsbychimere.com.
And it's Hey Chimere.
Hey.
Yeah. So Chimere, I want to thank you very, very much. We dropped some jewels, specifically you dropped jewels, so thank you very much for being a guest. I do believe that you kept it absolutely 100 with people. You kept it real, you kept it raw, you kept it uncut, you kept it honest. And I definitely believe that somebody out there, if not many people out there, are going to be blessed with this conversation. So without hesitation, I am going to crown the new Quitters Revolution champion of the world, Chimere Norris. So thank you once again for joining the Quitters Revolution. I, again, am your host, Jason B. Montanez. You can follow me at Jason B. Montanez on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Like I said, I've got 99 Things to Quit, and Giving Up is One is my new book. You can find it on Amazon at 99thingstoquit.com. This has been the Quitters Revolution. The revolution has been televised, where we quit to win. Y'all have a blessed week, and until next time, quitters win.